I have to mention the activities post Sintra Road. But before I tell you, we should go back before Sintra Road came, because before Sintra Road, we had the roads which were built in the 1940s, 1930s. Well, it began in the 1940s based on Elkin Henry's account. And Elkin Henry told me exactly how the roads were built, why they're windy, and so on. Probably some other time we'll discuss that. Why it is that the road networks in Dominica are so essy and curvy and windy, especially when you appear or approach a bridge. But we will discuss that some other time when we have a more in-depth discussion in the village about, general life. And again, I'm challenging Cedric and Chase and them and Webster to put a forum together. Give me some notice, let me know, so we can make it happen to wake up the sleeping energies in the village, and people like Meo and Vincent, Bim Bim, Valley. I love Valley. Valley is my neighbor, and Valley, not easy, she and my sister, they were big girls, and they were the ones who taught us, the younger boys. Although I was a little advanced in certain things at certain times, and Valley nor my sister didn't know, but that's life. So there were activities on the road in Calibishie before Sintra graded the road and fixed the road. And the activities was the banana activities, because as I said before, the commute to Roseau was north. We went up Woodford Hill, Wesley, Marigot side, Concord, Hatton Garden, Bells, Roseau. The traffic going down north from Calibishie was to Portsmouth. And every fortnight, that's when we had traffic. Banana traffic. People like M. Lord and SB from Wesley would fill up a 5-ton lorry of bananas from their holdings alone. They were shipped sometimes on the bunches, but then at time the pack came in. I think the boxes, they had black boxes and trays, all of that. But the boxes came in, man. And Ruben Francis was a box builder. We spoke about that before when we talk about Hodges. So the 5-ton lorries would carry 500 boxes from one holding every fortnight. Can you imagine the money that SB and these guys made on bananas? And that Dominica made in the 80s on bananas? So that was when the roads were not very well paved. And coming up Mondan, that hill by Woodford Hill, coming up from Wesley, from Walks up Woodford Hill, and then Hodges Hill again. These hills, we used to go there to wait for the trucks. I know. Hop the trucks, sling on the side of the box of the truck until it got to the Calibishie. There was a particular area where it was very holy. We would get off the truck and we would clap like we scored something. But we didn't realize, it was fun for us, but walking to Hodges was just an adventure. Hopping the truck and unhopping the truck was something that boys did. So we had that before the roads were built. But when the roads were built now, place paved, the dynamics of the village changed. Because vehicles were racing through the village, and that was not very good. The council became very anxious about about how people, about the life, the danger of the speeding through Calibishie. So I remember Mr. Capon was the chair, and people like Mashugas, Ma Easy, that is Ali's mom, the bigger women, they had campaigns trying to get the council to build the sleeping police on the street. And Mr. Captain said, no, if you put police, it will interfere with the flow of the traffic. All the people must understand that Calibishie is a village, and they must learn to regulate. So I think after a while, people regulated their speed, but not before. And people like Jonesy, boy, and Bolo, I think even Solo and them fellas. Before the roads were paved, it was tarish. And these fellas would start from the police station, and they would race up the village. And when that vehicle passed, the dust that followed the vehicle came at least a few minutes after, We used to know they would do it. It was drag racing, it was like. So we used to wait for it. Boy, when that van passed, a minute after, the dust just comes. And it was a whole line of dust that used to happen. I'm not too sure whether you remember that, but I remember those little episodes in terms of the dust that these guys used to make on the road until it got paved. And then we spoke about the speeding and stuff like that, and the experience of the big trucks. Mr. Cool too had a big truck. He somehow used to be passing through calibishie. I'm not too sure why, but it was a lovely looking truck. And we talked about Zayo truck already. So this was what was happening before Sintra came. And then I think after time goes by, the drivers got into the culture of being cautious in calibishie. But I know Captain resisted putting sleeping police because he felt it would interfere in the flow or dynamics of traffic on the village. So I remember that, and I wanted to share that with you. And I'll take a pause now until the next episode of Calibishie Chronicle.